All right. Terrificon 2019, Piney Comics, John, and we are here with Ron Garney, who I think is doing something really creepy or spooky right now. I can't tell. I don't want to turn my head because I will be lip to lip with a great artist.
Tavern in there.
Yeah. I used Q-tips this morning too.
Record holder of the longest beer in your fridge, too.
That's right. Yeah, we had the Ron Garney Budweisers for about a year. Ron, what's going on, man?
My first film is going to be called The Longest Bud.
I would watch that. I would watch that movie. I would definitely watch that movie.
The what story?
Oh, a friend of ours who's a little. He's a guy. Weed. He's a big weed guy. Growing. He lives in Massachusetts. You know it's legal up there now, so you could just do whatever you want to do. It's no big deal.
See from space, like mass migration into Massachusetts.
That's right. Colorado and Massachusetts now have all the weed heads in the world. So Ron, you recently have finished up a run on Savage Sword of Conan. This is some of the stuff right here. It is fantastic. Look at that right there. Look at the line work. It's just awesome. Black and white. He's hiding behind it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
And that was Jerry Duggan wrote that?
Yes, Jerry Duggan wrote it. It was as soon as I was asked to do it, I was like, sure, because I've always wanted to do Conan. So I started out as a fantasy illustrator in my younger years until all my paintings got stolen out of my apartment.
In New Haven? Was that New Haven?
Yeah, it was in New Haven, and so
you had some rough stuff happen in New Haven.
Then I fell into comics, and my car kept getting stolen. And
how many times did your car get stolen?
A few times.
I
moved out of there because I was living in an apartment building. I'd come out, and the car would just be gone. There would just be glass shards all over my parking space. Now they have a fence there, a security fence. They didn't back then.
They call it the Ron Garney Memorial Security Fence.
They would find my car like a few miles down in Fairhaven. Some kids would just take it for a joyride just to say, see, we did it to you. F you, you know. So, so I finally just moved into North Haven, a little better spot. So, yeah.
So, Ron, what do you have anything on the horizon coming up pretty soon, or are you just kind of taking it easy right now?
The horizon, death.
Okay. Yeah, that was we went dark with Ron Garney. You heard it here first, though, people. He's gonna die.
Somewhere down the road, this will happen. That's all I see, and
and then the Ron Garney Memorial Fence will truly be the memorial fence. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm working on Savage Avenger Annual. It has Conan in it, and I took it on because it's got Conan in it. It's Conan. Black Widow and Damien Hellstrom. So it's a fun thing while I'm in between projects, and I'm supposed to be working on this thing with Jerry Duggan about the Thing, Ben Grimm story. So we'll see if that still's going to happen. So that's what I got going on. But I've been trying to petition to get back on Spider-Man for something because I really want to do Spider-Man again.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Really?
No, I'm being serious, yeah.
Would you mind seeing that?
If I had to pick an artist to be on Spider-Man.
Okay, good, thanks. So,
Ron Garney for Spider-Man 2019.
Editor on Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah. The Chris Daughtry cover we did, right?
I did not.
Yeah, I did a cover. Chris Daughtry and I did a Spider-Man wraparound cover for for the Red Goblin storyline.
Is Chris Daughtry an artist as well? Yeah.
He plays around. He wanted to be a comic artist before he got into music, and so I met him for a number of reasons. But he was sending me some of his stuff, and I said, this has something to it. It looks good, and so I helped him along with it, and we made a cover, and they used it at Marvel. So it looks really cool. He did a great job.
That's awesome.
Work on it, so it looked good.
Oh, you have to check that out. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, it just got announced. They just had it a couple weeks ago in the news. So.
So it hasn't come out yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
But they announced it as a press release.
Oh, okay. All right, so check that out. The Chris Daughtry, Ron Garney mashup cover for Amazing Spider-Man number whatever. You know what number it is?
It's called Red. I don't know what number it is, but it's the Red Goblin.
All right.
Sing on his next album?
Yeah, he's got a Red Goblin song. Red Goblin. Do you play any instruments? Are you a musician at all?
Yes, actually, I had a band, and actually, yeah, we did me and him talking about I won't get into that.
I always find.
Not happen.
So you enjoying day 2 of Terrificon? Are you having a good time? Or are you busy the whole time we've seen you?
I'm really busy. Yeah, I mean I've had a really good show. Let's put it that way. You want to know what else I can do? I can turn invisible. Watch this. Focus on him for a second. Just turn the camera to him. Now come back to me.
No. No, hang on. Wait, let me just hang on.
He's as Larry Dwyer would say, he's revisible again. Revisible.
We're focusing over here. Look at that.
Say.
So he plays instruments, he can write, and he's got superpowers. That's Ron Garney for you, Ron. Thanks so much for talking. You're always the best, man.
My pleasure, man.
Right. We're gonna do the Predator thing. You know the Predator thing, right? Yeah, come on, right? Dylan, you son of a bitch. All right, it is the end of day 3, Sunday here at Terrificon. Pint of Comics. We are here with Javon Stokes. Javon, what's going on?
Good. How's it going? Thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, we kind of got in touch with you through our website, through our email. What exactly? It's the Heat. What exactly is it? Are you the writer, the artist? What's going on here?
So I literally do everything that is involved in the book. I write it, I color it, I draw it, I do everything. Like, it's top to bottom, it's me.
You're the letterer too.
I'm the letterer too.
All right. Are you now? Give everybody out there the pitch as to what's unique about this book, or why someone would want to pick this book up.
So the real elevator pitch is, if you get superpowers and you screw up. And that's kind of where it starts from, and that's where it goes from there. It's a little bit of Spider-Man, a little bit of Green Lantern, a little bit of Luke Cage, all kind of rolled up into one. The guy is he gets superpowers. He makes a big mistake, which results in the death of a civilian. And then he has to kind of figure out, do I want to be a hero? And if I'm going to be a hero, I need to figure out the right way to do it. And then from there, I kind of go from there.
How far along are you? How many issues we have out?
All right, so we got the first 3 issues that sold out, so I don't have any more.
You can't get them here.
You can't even get it here, but I do have a collected edition of the first 3. It's called Undeserving, so it's Heat Volume 1. You can get that at visuallystoked.com. So I have that, and then I have the brand new graphic novel. I'm going to pick it up here and do my...
oh, there you go.
There you go. This is called... There you go. This is Heat the Black Flame. It's a brand new graphic novel. It is the next... it's the sequel to the first miniseries.
So the first 3 issues is a complete series.
Yeah, I use it. It's like the first movie. I use the analogy. The first book is like Captain America, the first Avenger. This is the Winter Soldier.
So by that, are you saying this is better?
I would say this is better because I think I'm better as an artist. I'm better as a colorer. I'm better as a writer. I'm better across the board, in my opinion.
Now, is your kind of doing everything in total, is that because you're a control freak, or is that just kind of a thing where it's just easier, maybe a little bit cheaper? Why are you doing everything yourself?
The answer is yes. No. I mean, I'm a little bit of a control freak, but this is a dream come true for me to do my own comic book. And I just thought to myself, if I'm going to do it the first time, it's going to be representation. It's a representation of my talent. So I'm going to go full blast. And then another part of it is just kind of learning. I see a lot of artists that say, if you want to know about the industry, just do it. Like, do everything so you kind of have a better appreciation of everything. So I have a better appreciation of letterers, colorers, of inkers, of everything. And, I am a control freak, and I want it to look like how I want it to look.
Is there one out of all, let's just get down to writer artist. Okay. Is there one that you prefer over the other? Like, if you were to move on from this and someone were to say, you can write your dream book, right? Or you could draw your dream book, and you got to choose one right now. What are you going to do?
Probably the art. Probably art. Yeah. Probably art.
Is that just does that come more naturally to you, or?
Yes, I've always been an artist. My mother was an artist. I kind of inherited from her, and I went to art school and everything. The writing came because I wanted to do comics, so I had to figure out how to write, and so I'm kind of used to doing both, but I'm an artist at heart.
Okay. All right. And are you, now I don't remember if we talked about this in any of the emails or not that you had sent in. Are you a Connecticut guy, or?
I'm born and raised in Connecticut. Born and raised in Hartford, Connecticut.
All right, so local guy, doing good. Give everybody out there your website again, any social media, and where they can get the collected edition of. Now, you said again the first 3 are out, but you can still get them on the website.
You can get the collected edition along with the new graphic novel at www.visuallystoked.com. That's where you can get the graphic novel. You can get I got holiday cards here. I'm gonna pull these up right here. I got holiday cards. I'm actually gonna have T-shirts. I got a lot of stuff that I'm gonna be coming out, especially as the years go on. The weeks go on. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff. You can find me on Facebook at Visually Stoked Media. You can find me on Instagram at Visually Stoked Media, and you can find me on Twitter at Visually_Stoked.
All right, so check them out and get yourself a copy of Heat. One more question that I didn't ask before. Heat. So I don't want to assume what's the power set. What can the guy do?
So he controls light. He controls heat and anything fire and a little bit of energy as well. He's kind of how do I put this? He is the avatar for an energy source called the Illumination.
Okay.
And the Illumination is it is one of 4 Genesis foundations to the universe. So you've got Illumination, which is light. You got the Ebon, the darkness, which is the black flame here. This is the avatar for the black flame. And then for the next book, I'm going to introduce the avatar for the essence, which is the spirit. And then I got one more, which is going to come down the line, called the solid, which is basically anything, hard.
Okay. All right. So go check them out, check the book out, and check us out. And you have a YouTube channel or anything like that? You do any of your drawing? I had a feeling a lot of artists nowadays do. So
yeah, for the next book's going to be like 100-pager. It's going to be a big one. So I'm going to actually do a diary of the process from as soon as I finish the script until the end. And you can find me Visually Stoked Media on YouTube as well.
So subscribe, hit that little bell, and you'll get notifications whenever you have something new coming up. And you can do that for us as well. But seriously, check them out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're back at Terrificon. It is day 3, Sunday. Everybody is beat. Everybody's tired, except for these 2 guys. They're not tired of selling comic books and having a good time. This is Ed Jandruski. And Ezra Veach. Double E Comics, Ed and Ezra, or vice versa, Ed and Ezra. Now, I'm going to just throw it right out there before we get too far into the awesome book and what their product is, and we'll have Ed and Ezra talk about that. You heard me right, Ezra Veach. Ezra, you got a kind of famous last name, so let's just get it out there.
Yeah. So my dad's Rick Veach. He's pretty well known for doing Swamp Thing, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He writes, he illustrates. He's my mentor.
Me and John, who's not here right now, on the car ride down here today, we're talking about your dad, about how your dad is still very active in, he's doing like self-printing and putting books out there now.
Yeah, it's Amazon On Demand. He does a series called Super Catchy, which are just like, like his dream work and stuff, like Rarebit Fiends. Yeah. He's taking that and he's implementing it in a different way, and he's finding a new audience through the sourcing that we have now, because distribution is really hard. So his books are available Amazon On Demand, super catchy. He's got like 4 of them now, I think. One of them got nominated for an Eisner. So
that's a big deal in comic books. Yeah, all right.
He's pretty good.
He's kind of good, but we're not here to talk about your dad. All right. I wanted to get it out there. Thanks. We're here to talk about Double E Comics and Chronicles of Templar.
Yes,
so,
correct.
Ed, why don't you explain to the audience out there, right there, exactly what we're looking at with this so far up to 3-issue series?
So far up to 3-issue series, we have a swords and sarcasm and a lot of brutality, giant demon clansman barbarian who has a rage disorder and a drinking problem, and he loves to fuck shit up. Can I say that?
You absolutely can. But when you said rage disorder, yeah, no, I'm not gonna throw someone out there. It reminds me of somebody.
That's okay. We're good. So 3 books in, a lot of character development going on, a lot of back and forth, between Ezra and I on collaborations. Sorry. Because I do, I write it, he draws it. but then like once you start visualizing what you've written and actually see it come back to life, then things like start to develop a little more, start to change a little bit.
Yeah, it's evolving in a really cool way right now. Yeah. Like Ed created characters and I like visualized them for him, but the characters that were like side characters, they weren't even supposed to be a character even. They just became really important to the story all of a sudden, and it changed our whole arc. And now we've got a whole like a story arc that after we do like 5 or 6 issues, we'll be able to put a complete book together that we can publish as a graphic novel. Plan is to color it, and then we can distribute that a little easier through Amazon and things like that. Right now, we're selling our books in pizza shops.
In pizza shops.
Yeah, our local Greek pizza place, the Pizza Palace. We put up one of these little plexiglass stands in there, and he sells a lot more books, and we even have some of our local comic shops that help us out and put us on there because, being so small, if you're not a part of Diamond, a lot of places don't want you.
And this is in small town Vermont, you said. Like you guys are in Vermont.
Yeah, we're super small town.
Yeah.
Small Vermont.
So in Connecticut, you can get the best pizza in the world. In Vermont, you get decent pizza, but you can buy comic books there.
Absolutely. And I will definitely make the trek down.
You know that, right?
What's that?
Pizza and comics.
Yeah, oh yeah, Charlton and all that stuff, and Connecticut. People think of Connecticut as just like Rhode Island's kind of bigger, like less lame brother. But like we really got a lot going on down here, right? Like everybody talks about New York pizza. Let's get it straight right now. New Haven pizza is the #1 pizza, and no matter where you are in the country.
Sally's, Modern, Pepe's. There's your 3.
The Holy Trinity.
Bar is
Bar is pretty good. Bar is fairly new.
You guys are speaking Greek to me right now, right?
Oh, so you're not from here. You're from Vermont. So here's what you're used to. You're used to Chad's from Maine. You're used to Bush League pizza. All right. Even your best pizza place up there is not even one of our top 30 down especially in the southern Connecticut, central Connecticut area.
Okay, well, the Pizza Stone in Chester, Vermont, if you've never been to the Pizza Stone, you need to go to the Pizza Stone because it is amazing.
I guarantee the guy who opened the Pizza Stone's from southern Connecticut. So, anyway.
It's a similar crust style.
Yeah, exactly. He's from here. He moved up there and said, think about it. If you're one of these guys, you just go somewhere to another part of the country and start making New Haven style beats, and boom, all of a sudden, you got it. You got it going on.
Maple pizzas, man. Maple pizzas.
What is a maple pizza?
It's yeah, it's a pizza with maple syrup on it.
I'm not talking to him anymore. Ed.
It's okay. It's like the pineapple people. We don't go there.
I've had one that I thought wasn't horrible. It had jalapenos on it. All right. So if anybody wants to check you guys out, social media or go and find the book, you give the information. We'll go back over him. We'll give more information.
Okay. So we got social media. We've got Facebook at Templar Graphic Novel. We've got Instagram, Templar Graphic Novel. We've got chroniclesoftemplar.com where you can go and buy the books. And hit us up. Hit anybody we know up. Our good friend Chris Baudette's here. He is in pretty much every local band in New Haven. If you run into him, he knows how to get a hold of us. And we can make anything roll. And you guys can buy books there, buy T-shirts. We have T-shirts with little Danzig logo on it.
I thought that looked familiar.
Yeah, a little tribute to Danzig. Yeah. And I think earlier Michael Golden's wife came by and was like, "Yep, they stole that from us."
You know what comic that was stolen from? Chris Starr. I found that out like 2 years ago, and I had that book. The Danzig logo was stolen from
artwork.
It's the actual artwork from a Marvel comic series that was made in conjunction with a short-lived toy series called Chris Starr, the Crystal Warrior. Right. Yeah, it's like issue 7 or 8. Yeah, issue 8.
I don't think Michael Golden is at all bitter about this.
Yeah, no, probably not bitter about it at all. That all that Danzig money is just flying out the window. Seriously, check Ezra and Ed out. They got an awesome thing. I'll be honest. I want to just say one thing. It might be controversial. You said before you're looking at coloring it. I would not. I think the black and white looks pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
I think the black and white looks pretty good. So that's just me. But if you get it eventually and you put it out and it's not recolored, all due to me. Just want to say.
If anybody out there wants, I have a Twitch that's Redax VT, so REDAXE VT. I stream when I make my artwork, so you can watch me work. I'll interact with people. I only have a few followers right now, but I've been doing this for a while, and if this boosts my following, like right on.
There you go, man. Hey, this guy knows about Twitch. I'm not too good with that stuff. All right, so check these guys out. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And awesome stuff. All right, we're here at Terrificon. It's Sunday, the last day, and we're here with Travis Holyfield. Travis, what's going on, man?
I'm having a fantastic weekend. How about you guys?
Pretty good. We've been here 3 days. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting ready to go home. Yeah, it's been a good show, a great show, a terrific show. But it has been definitely 3 very long days. So give us the pitch. You're a comic writer or artist or both?
I am a comic book writer.
Okay.
I would love to take credit for the art on these books because the art is phenomenal. Unfortunately, I am just the word monkey. That's all I'm good for.
Okay, so the artist is not here?
No. My art team on the book that I just put out is actually out of the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
And my artist for the other book that I have is based out of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go first with what's the newer of the 2 books?
So the newer of the 2 books is Street Clothes. Street Clothes is a 5-issue miniseries. We can... Boom! There it is. Street Clothes is a 5-issue mini. It's about an ex-supervillain who retires, quits, gets out of the life, but then gets pulled back in to do one last big job by her old crew. So it's very much in the spirit of stuff that, like Brian Bendis' Powers or Brubaker's Sleeper or Criminal.
Okay.
The tagline that we use is it's Reservoir Dogs meets Jessica Jones.
And I was just going to ask a question, and it answered right beautifully, right on the cover. Not for kids, mature readers.
Absolutely.
Sophie's out, can't read that, but
Depends, in terms of content, there's just a lot of swear words.
Okay.
There's an awful lot. It turns out I know an awful lot of dirty words. I put them all in this book. But content-wise, it's not too violent. It's not too anything else, but there's a lot of language. So I want to be sensitive to that.
And did you just finish putting out the 5th issue, or did you do them like very close together?
Well, we crowdfunded the first issue 2 years ago. We actually did well enough on that I was able to get the 2nd issue and some of the 3rd out. So we did our final batch of crowdfunding last year, and that finished up the remainder of 3 and then 4 and 5. This is the first show we've had 4 and 5 out for.
Oh, look at that. So if you're here right now, if you're watching this, somewhere here in the Mohegan Sun, even if you're gambling right now and you're watching this, you're just, hey, I'm going to watch Pint of Comics. Oh, my God, you can get here and you can get the entire story right now, all 5 issues. So now...
Bring your winnings.
Yeah, really. You just won like $800.
You hit it big. Now help me hit it big.
Really, you can't spend a couple bucks on some comic books, man. Come on. Now, we've got Doberman, not Doberman.
Doberman, absolutely. Doberman is my all-ages book. It's a 60s Batman homage. So think Batman meets the Tick. A lot of fun action, a lot of laughs, a lot of really fantastic dog puns. Turns out that I'm very good at those.
Oh, so that was just you decided to do this, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm nailing these dog puns.
Oh yeah, 100%. It didn't. I would love it if it had gone the other way, and I was just like, I'm great at dog puns. How can I parlay that into a comic? Other way around. Necessity drove that invention.
Can you give us one that's maybe in the book to get people in? What's a good dog pun?
Okay, well, here's one, and it's on the subtle end, but in the first issue, we've got a supervillain called the Mud Shark. The Mud Shark is a name for the American dogfish.
See? I would never have known that.
Levels. That's the level of research. That is the level of research that I did to do a comic that largely ends with pie fights.
Look at that. 2 copies sold. 2 copies sold. And this guy's not a plant. This guy isn't the 3rd co-host of the show. Sir, what made you decide to stop here today and grab 2 issues of issue 1 and 2 of Doberman, the Canine Crusader?
Well, it's the 60s dog puns, It looks...
I've heard, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard Travis Holyfield, the writer, is probably the best comic writer for dog puns of all time.
Oh, he is, for sure, yeah. And I can't wait to give him... I got to go out and win some money and come here and give it to him.
A lot of dog puns, and I'm also a good kisser. So.
Oh, he's a good kisser too.
So we got that going for you.
You cannot lose here at the Doberman and Street Clothes. You come over, you see you see Travis and dog puns, kissing, all that good stuff. Oh, yeah. Where can people find you? Well, are you actually writing Street Clothes Volume 2 while we're here?
I am plotting out. I'm trying to nail down what my next project definitively will be. So we're making a list right now of the stuff that's in the hopper.
No photos, and I know possibly a subtitle that you'll never. Well, you'll know.
That's a second. That's even a completely different title.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
even better.
All right. Well, I won't spoil what another book is going to be coming out, but it sounds pretty cool, and it takes place somewhere I would never want to go by name, if you know what I mean. Yeah, nobody wants to go to Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland; it wasn't that bad, but yeah,
I've had some good times in Cleveland.
Yeah,
actually.
Cleveland's not bad.
Yeah, I apologize to Cleveland.
Sorry,
I was messed up.
Sorry, Ohio. We're talking about Cincinnati with Tom Ryan over there. So
wow.
This is the entire Ohio hour. Where can everybody find you if they want to go? If they're not able to get down here, but they want to be able to get these books?
Well, everything that I have is available digitally on Comixology. So if you're a digital comics reader, you can hit me up there. You can also go to TravisMHolyfield.com or StreetClothesComic.com. It's the same site, and everything is available there for physical purchase. Otherwise, you can grab me on Twitter. I'm at Travis Holyfield. Instagram is at Travis M. Holyfield. So I'm out there, and by all means, please support indie comics, support local comics, support my comics very specifically.
You heard it here first.
Thank you.
Yeah, do it. Street Clothes, Doberman, and Travis. All right, we're back at Terrificon 2019. Is day 3 is Sunday. It's almost over, Tom.
Yes, it is. It's almost over. We made it, everyone. We made it.
We're here with my favorite my favorite redheaded local to Connecticut artist, Thomas Michael Ryan.
Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Tom's awesome. Tom has some great stuff per usual. Tom, how's the show been treating you?
It's been pretty solid all weekend. Friday was a Friday, Saturday was a Saturday, and Sunday, it's a Sunday.
Days of the Week with Tom Ryan, everybody. It's a new show. It'll be on public access pretty soon, and we'll do the months after that. What has been the biggest? Do you have so you got the awesome Marvel Comics Stan Lee tribute? Is that like the hot seller, or what is the hot seller? I don't know if I've ever asked you that before. Do you have a hot selling item that you're always restocking, or you just pretty much do well on everything?
Well, the pins are really hot sellers, and then within there's some that I have reordered several times. As far as prints go, the hot seller this weekend has been. Hang on, I gotta flip the book. It's been the Miles Morales print, which I finished actually on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I finished the Superman print. There.
That's a menacing Superman, Tom.
Yeah, no one likes it. No one's bought it yet.
Somebody watch Brightburn?
I have not seen Brightburn yet.
It's rad for sure. I mean, you know, and you got the Luther Tower there. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that, Tom. Give yourself a chance, Tom. Nobody's bought it yet is the key term.
Yet. Maybe in 2 weeks at, Christ, where am I? Fairfax, Virginia Comic-Con.
We've said it a million times. There is nobody that travels or works harder for a local Connecticut guy than Tom. Again, Tom, I'm always amazed by it. What, like in a month you're going where?
Oh, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Now, if you're watching this, on YouTube, we're in Connecticut. This dude's driving like, I don't know, what is that, like 14 hours, 18 hours, 74 hours, Tom.
2 weeks.
It takes 2 weeks by car. It's almost like the old, like when you take passage. It's like when you would take passage from England, you know. Yeah.
Victorian train
a Victorian train ride through central. Yeah, day 97. I'm eating my shoelaces. Well, Cincinnati looks no closer today than it did a week ago.
Just huddled in the back making notes.
What shows can people find you at when they want to? I mean, God, we've said this before. It's the lamest joke we do here with you, but like literally, people open their closets in the morning, and Tom is selling pins. You're everywhere, dude. Where are you going to be besides Cincinnati coming up?
Besides Fairfax, besides Cincinnati, let's see. I don't know. I have to look at the calendar here. Let's see here. So there's Granite Comic-Con in New Hampshire in September. Let's see here. Then there's Retro World over in Hartford, also in September. And then there's Patches and Pins Expo in New York City in October, Baltimore Comic-Con in October, Bing Con in October, and then Retro Game Con at the very beginning of November. And then I probably hibernate until March.
See you in March, Tom. Oh, seriously, go to Tom's website. It is Tom Ryan's studio. Is it 2 S's or 1? 2 S's.
But they can put the apostrophe there, so 2 S's.
No apostrophe, Tom Ryan Studio, and you can check out all this great stuff. I will never stop showing everybody this, the awesome Nintendo Blow Me cartridge, because that reason, if you remember back in the day. Tom, thank you so much for talking to us for the 874th time. It's a record.
Comics, guys. Pinto Comics. You guys are amazing. I love you.
Tom, you're amazing. Love this guy. Get his art. Do it. All right, we're here on day 3 of Terrificon Sunday, and you might not recognize this guy just by looking at him, but you probably recognize this guy right here because he was on television for, what was it again?
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. Well, how many years?
King of the Hill did 13 years.
13 years, and we are here with Joel Adams. Joel, what is your connection to King of the Hill? This is pretty impressive, so get ready.
I was the character designer for the first 3 years of the show.
So are you the first person to come up with the idea of what these people look like? Or you refined it?
I refined it. So there was another designer, Paul Scarlatta, who started the show, and he moved on to becoming an assistant director, and I stepped in as character designer. They kind of brought me in to clean some things up to make it a little more commercial looking.
Okay.
And just develop it into what became the King of the Hill style.
Now, was character design, I mean, obviously you're an artist, was character design for television something you were already involved in, or was this like kind of your first job you broke into?
The show just before that, which was the Incredible Hulk animated series, was my first gig in animation. I was a commercial storyboard artist. I dabbled in comic books. I did licensing art, and that's kind of where I got found. I got found through licensing art.
And the Hulk show is the mid-'90s one? Was that around that time?
Mid-'90s. Lou Ferrigno did the voice. I think, what's his face did, the guy from Beverly Hills 90210 did the Sidekick's voice.
Luke Perry?
Luke Perry, yeah.
Rip Luke Perry. That's unfortunate, super unfortunate. Yeah. So you get involved in King of the Hill. You start working on that. You do the first 3 years. And I mean, if I remember correctly, and tell me if I'm wrong, that had a pretty good lineup lead up. That was like a Simpsons kind of that whole Sunday animation block.
There was that time slot, so people were looking for it. People didn't know what to do with it because they figured as a cartoon, put your kids in front of it, and the humor kind of went over kids' heads. Yeah. But as those kids got older, that audience grew. So now that those kids are all grown up, I would say, from what I see doing shows, that King of the Hill is almost more popular today than it was when it first aired.
Yeah, like you said, aired a long time, and I think one of the things that's so unique about King of the Hill for a cartoon show, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, was that it could have been a live-action show because it didn't. The Simpsons relies a lot on the animation. Family Guy obviously relies a lot on the animation. King of the Hill felt like a bunch of real people that just happened to be animated.
That's exactly what it was. It was a sitcom. And we knew when we were animating the show that King of the Hill was based in the real world. It wasn't based in a cartoon world. So you couldn't do things with the characters you did with cartoons. You couldn't have Hank fall off a cliff, make a whole bunch of noises going down, and then stand up at the bottom of the hill. They dropped Peggy out of an airplane, and she broke every bone in her body.
Now, being so entrenched with the characters and their design, was there a particular character that you are have an affinity for, that you really love the design of, and that you just maybe your top character, or maybe just your top character, just talking about the character in the show, period?
As far as designing, I didn't really start to have a lot of fun with them until we got past the main families and into secondary characters that would come along. So there's a character, Jimmy Witchard, who ran the concession stand at the racetracks, who, as soon as I heard the voice, I knew what he was going to look like. We were listening to the table reads, and I had a sketchbook with me, and I heard the voice they were doing, and right away I started designing this guy with a peanut-shaped head with little eyes that were too close together and this lower lip that stuck out. And I did this design, and I shot my sketchbook across the table to the director. He took one look at it, signed it, and shot the thing back to me, and Jimmy Witchard was designed. So I had fun with those characters. Junie Harper, the professor in Arrowhead that dug up Hank's lawn. Characters like that I had a lot of fun designing because they were a lot more me on my own.
Right. It was.
Everybody else went through the committee, went through the director's grade, and even they still had to approve it, but there wasn't so much scrutiny on what I was doing. So when the secondary characters came along, I got to play a little more.
So do you ever just flip it around like FX or whatever? I think that might be one of the channels it's on, and you catch an episode and just go through it and kind of go, hey, that was one that I came up with.
Oh yeah, I know my episodes, and I watch King of the Hill all the time. It's now that it's on Hulu, I can stream it all the time. So when I'm working, I'll have it on in the background. But even though I worked on it, I still listen to it all the time, watch it all the time.
That's awesome. What anything going on in particular new today, or you have anything in particular you want to talk about, or just here kind of?
Right now I'm having a lot of fun doing conventions, doing shows like this, which is an amazing show, meeting the fans, going out and experiencing the United States, learning how different regions reacted to it. Right. And that's really interesting, and I'm pushing my own stuff. I'm dabbling in comic books again, and I might be doing a children's book real soon. It's a Christmas story. So I'm enjoying myself right now. I'm kind of glad to not be at a regular animation desk job or something. Just enjoying myself right now.
So what part of the country are you from?
Los Angeles. I'm originally New York. As a matter of fact, I grew up, I'd say junior high school through high school in Port Washington, Long Island. Before that, I was in Stratford, Connecticut. So I lived out here for a while. And now I'm in Los Angeles. I've been out there for the last 30 years now.
Do you ever travel to Texas in your travels and just like go, oh yeah, this is stuff like that Mike Judge pulled from?
I love Texas. Texas loves me. I love going down there. I did a Comic Palooza, and I do a lot of shows all over the place. But when I go to a place like Houston, I'll have a line around my booth. I'll have people come up to me sporadically throughout a show. But I go to Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, I'll get a line. And they treat me so well down there. They love the show so much. They consider it their show.
Well, the show, one of the smart things that Mike Judge did, and if I'm right, Mike Judge is from Texas, correct?
He's from Texas and New Mexico. Okay.
One of the things it did was it never treated Texas like the butt of the joke. It always felt to me like there was a huge reverence for Texas. Like one of my favorite things, I always thought that if they marketed it, I would buy one, is that Texas-shaped clock in their kitchen, and I just never felt like it was trying to be snarky about being in Texas. It was just that Texas was where it was, and the characters loved it there.
Texans are very proud of being Texans. That's something I learned going down there. That's why they love King of the Hill being a Texas show. They're very proud of being Texans. So a Texas-shaped clock on a wall is something I'm sure you'd find in home somewhere.
Tom Landry Middle School, stuff like that.
Yep, exactly.
All right, well, Joel, if anybody wants to find you, do you have a website? Do you have a bunch of social media presence? What do you got?
I have joeladamsart.com is my website. It's under construction right now, but should be up and running again real soon. And on Instagram and Twitter, I am Lilzart. That's Lilzart. That's Instagram and Twitter. Lils is my own brand that I was working on for a while.
Okay, follow him there. And just remember, it's not just art. It's sexy. It's cute, and sometimes I guess it's ugly. Joel Adams.
These are the Lils.
And they're the Lils. So check them out, Joel. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're back on now. It's the last day, right? Sunday? I've lost days. I've lost track of time. Day 84, Terrificon. We've started eating each other. It's horrible. We're here with Todd Webb. Todd, what's going on, man?
Day 4? Day 3. Day 3 for me.
So
3, yes.
So on day 1, which was 9 days ago, John and I were doing our little preliminary walk, and we happened to see this sign here, if Lou wants to take a photo of that, and it immediately suckered us in, which is his master plan. Todd does $1 crayon portraits of you, and we had one done for everybody that's a part of the show in a minute. He does it in a minute, and they're quite good. And Todd, where did you come up with the idea for this, and let everybody know how long you've been doing it for?
For the portraits specifically, I've been doing that for about 14 years. At every event that I do, I play music also, and I was playing a show in California and ran out of merch. And the venue that I was at happened to have a pile of printer paper and some crayons. And since I draw, I was like, well, I'll draw everybody here for $1 after the show. And I ended up drawing the entire audience. So I've done it ever since then.
The entire audience.
Yeah, the entire audience, and it's been great because it's good practice for me to get better at drawing. It's a good way to talk to people without begging them to buy stuff.
Right.
And it's a nice way to slowly make money back on trips without having to rely on the other stuff. So.
And you had told us that you did San Diego Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, and you, I don't know if you want to throw the number out there, but you did quite well. You sold a ton of these to people.
Yes, yeah. I usually get close to 1,000 portraits just at San Diego. And
Wow.
I've been doing that for the past 10 years at San Diego Comic-Con. So, plus every other event. So I've literally drawn like thousands and thousands and thousands of portraits, and I don't save them. Which is the other fun part, is they just go out into the world, and I'm sure they end up on Facebook profile pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know about it. So unless somebody tags me in something, I never see them again.
I was going to ask you, do you have repeat customers come back and do me again?
I've had people come to shows that, especially in the past 2 or 3 years, that have started showing me their collections of pictures that are like, this was us when we were dating, then you drew us when we got married, then you drew us when I was pregnant, and then we had the baby, and then here, draw the kid. And it's like their entire lives in crayon, which is super neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I guess this is a good question, since you do San Diego. Anybody famous? Has anybody walked by and, maybe one of the celebrities sees that, or anybody of note?
I drew the fun story for me is my sister loves Felicia Day, and she always was like, if you see Felicia Day, can you get her autograph for me? I'm like, I never see anybody unless they come to my table, and she won't because she's off doing her fancy podcast stuff. And one year, this girl and her friends came over to get drawn, and we were talking about Wes Anderson movies, and it was Felicia, and I drew her for $1, and then I was like, oh, I have to get your autograph for my sister.
That's pretty cool.
That was a fun one. But yeah, every once in a while cool people would come by and get drawn like that.
That's quite awesome. Now, besides that's kind of like your fun little gimmick to get people over. Yep. But you are an artist, obviously. You do a lot of really cool stuff. You have everything from yeah. Well, let me find the book. We got a Beyonce right there. You got all your different categories: film and movies.
Bill would be over here somewhere.
Skeletor, right? Skeletor right there.
There you go. Oh, very topical.
Mr. Rogers. Yep. So, and then you have your books over here. Yep. So, what is the idea behind? They're not really linear stories necessarily. What?
Yeah.
So they actually are. I didn't really go through them fully.
They're all completely different. So every book is completely different from the other books. Some of them are like graphic novels. They're all ages appropriate. Everything I do is okay for kids. Some of it's specifically for kids. I used to do comics for Nickelodeon Magazine back in the day, and so this book is a collection of redrawn comics that I had done for them. So that's like a bunch of short comic strips about trees. But then Tuesday Moon is a graphic novel for kids. So that's just this one solid story about a girl named Tuesday has a bad day at school and then works through it with a space adventure, as we all do. This one is based on reality. So Catherine Mansfield was an actual short story author in the 20s and in New Zealand, and that's based off of her diaries. So it's like each page is a diary entry from her.
So you're not. No one's gonna put you in a corner. You don't have like a niche, no, right?
I just follow my weird interests and do whatever pops out at me. And then so the newest book, Long Pond Road, is an anthology title that I'm gonna try to do one a year of, and it's a whole bunch of different stuff in there. There's comics about Georgia O'Keeffe. There's a 60 pages from an in-progress book called Reading War and Peace that's about me trying to read through War and Peace and how it impacts my life. And that comic's been in the works for 9 years now or something like that.
So have you been reading War and Peace for 9 years, or is just the comic has been?
It's just taking me that long to work through the comic.
Right. I don't know. It's good. I'm listening to you guys.
But yeah, and then the pop culture drawings come from, there's a gallery in LA called Gallery 1988 that I work with. and they do lots of the official theme shows for different movies and TV shows and stuff. And so I started doing those for them, and then getting commissions by other people like, oh, can you draw this? Can you draw this? And they just slowly pile up. And then some of them are stuff that I just genuinely like myself.
Well, here's an interesting one I just pulled out. When Van Gogh was alive, nobody liked his paintings.
That's a true sentence.
It's a true sentence, and it's just got a...
Toy dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a toy dinosaur.
So that's one of my own weird art series called Basic Forms, which started with this series with flowers and hands. They're paired with random texts. So they're random images paired with random text to see what that combination would look like. So I did the flowers, and then I did a bunch of toy dinosaurs, and now I'm working on a series of them with broken, like, classical sculptures, because they all read differently. Like, the flower ones are all poetic, the dinosaur ones are all funny. It's like with different things they read in a different way.
So are the random texts that you received, or you asked friends for random text? How does that work? Do you mean actually random text, or is it like a text message of some sort?
I take a book off of my shelf and I open it and I put my finger down, and then that's the sentence.
Okay.
So it's all
that's very cool.
Discovered, and that's a branch off of my Chance Operations book, right here. Which this is the one that's like the weirdest of the books, because this entire book was made using Chance Operations, which was, do you guys know John Cage, like the composer from the 50s at all?
I do not.
He was famous for using chance to compose his music. So he would flip coins and ask yes or no questions, and that would determine all the different aspects of the composition. So he was trying to remove himself from the process.
Right.
So I did that, but with comics, because comics and music have a lot in common as far as their different elements, like time is a big part of it, and duration and all that. So all of the comics in this book were made with random imagery and random words, and then the yes or no questions told me where to put each element and which things to color and which things to leave black and white, which would be a full picture or a piece of a picture or a continuation of a picture.
What was your randomizer for that? Did you have a list of things that you would?
Yeah. There's an essay in here that explains how I made this first piece, which is the longest one. So all of the drawings in this were based off of photographs that I found in a thrift store of like elderly people on vacation in the 60s. You know, like this guy on his boat. And then all of the text in here was taken from fortune cookies. And I got rid of all of the ones that are like great things are coming your way, and kept the ones that were more like aphorisms, you know. And it's crazy because like our brains turn everything into a narrative. And there's actually a teacher at a university in New Orleans who uses this in his writing class, and he assigns the kids a single-page comic from Chance Operations, has them take it home, and then write an essay about what they think it means. And then after they've all given their presentation, he says, that's what it means to you, doesn't mean anything because it was put together by chance, which is really cool. And I like it because I never know what the heck they're going to be like until I've drawn them. Like, this isn't anything that if I was sitting down to write a comic book, I wouldn't make this. But yeah, in the essay it shows, like, I had text, image, whole image, partial image, black and white, or color. And then this is what a script page would look like, basically. And I would translate. So these are, like, the drawings. Those are the fortunes that go with this. That's the page that ended up getting made out of it.
That is not only different. That's like for indie comics. It's just incredible because it's not just you're not just doing the cartoon drawings. You know, the kind of random stuff. The graphic novels, the random graphic novel. It's part of a syllabus. You do music. We have a theme this week. We've been talking about that at Terrificon. Is that generally talented people are multi-talented, and you again are yet one of these multi-talented people I can't stand because you do so much stuff. But where can people find you on any social media or website? So if they want to check this stuff out, which I certainly implore they do because it's all really cool.
Yeah, my website is toddbot.com. Like me and Todd, and then robot at the end. And then my Instagram and all social media is that, but spelled out. So TODDBOTDOTCOM.
All right. So Todd Webb, check him out. And seriously, look into this stuff. It's really awesome. And thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Good morning, good Sunday. This is Pint of Comics, Sir Johnny Ganache, with Jim Calafiore at his booth. How you feeling today?
Oh, Sunday, I'm tired.
It's been a busy weekend at Terrificon for you?
Oh yeah, it's just always tiring.
I feel you. I honestly feel you.
Is it Calafiore or Calafiore?
Calafiore. You say it like California, but you get angry at the end.
You get pissed off at the end? Okay, all right.
Beautiful, beautiful. Jim, you've got a Kickstarter that just kicked off, if I guess that's how you put it. So a few days ago.
Yes.
Let's grab one of those lovely little things there. Put it right on the camera here. There you go. Tell us about it.
It's a supernatural comedy, horror comedy called Ned, Lord of the Pit. And as you can guess, someone named Ned should not be a Lord of the Pit. It's about a guy, just a regular guy in New York who one day starts seeing demons on the street. And nobody else sees them. They seem to be ignoring them. And the problem is the demons see him.
It feels like a regular Sunday morning to me.
There you go. Well, he thinks he's going insane. He prays he's going insane. Unfortunately, he's not going insane. And he basically comes to find out that his family, who he's estranged from, are very connected to the dark side, much more connected than he wanted. Never would want to be.
Is he a Crowley type of personality or lesser?
Hey, what?
Crowley, Aleister Crowley?
Oh, Ned or his?
Yes.
No, Ned is definitely not. He's dealing with a lot of things he doesn't want to deal with. Demons, stinky demons, couch potato demons, bickering angels.
I know a few of those.
I think we both know a few of those.
Yeah. So
he ends up with an annoying zombie roommate at one point.
Just talking about that.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's real life.
With no offense to anybody named Ned out there, how long did it take you to land on the name Ned to come to like the best possible non-incarnation of evil? You know what I mean? Like you had to come up with that name that like it couldn't be like Alex. Alex could possibly be the Lord of the Pit, but like Ned, was that like a long process?
Actually, for a while it was Ted.
Ted works too.
Then I got a lot of headaches from people saying, no, it's the teddy bear movie. People would confuse it.
Okay, yeah.
So Ned seemed like a natural progression just out of that. And I think I like Ned even better.
Ned works. Ned absolutely works.
And it's a 144-page graphic novel that this is going to be.
Right now it's 144 pages. The actual story runs over 130. I'm about halfway done on it, and I keep expanding it as I go. It's the nice thing about Kickstarter and not having editors and companies where they say, hey, can you take this 7-page sequence and make it a 3-page sequence, even if that screws up the tension and ruins the gag? So I keep adding pages here to let things breathe. I mean, for me, comedy and comics is all about the timing. And a lot of times it's the beat panel where just nothing happens, but it's that beat that gives the...
Right. And these days there aren't a whole lot of comedy-styled comics. There's funny comics, but not comedy straight up.
Right, yeah. Basically anything Keith Giffen does is comedy.
Hear that, Keith?
Yeah, I see that.
So it just started off. It's going to end in 28 days around?
Yes, it started on Thursday, 3 or 4 days ago, and it's running till September 6th.
How do people find it?
It's on Kickstarter. You search for Ned. I haven't had time yet, but I have a link on my website, jimcalafiore.com, if you spell my name correctly. C-A-L-A. Everybody wants to put an I like California. There's a link there. If you follow me on Instagram, Jim_Calafiore, which is the underscore is important because there's another Jim Calafiore account floating out there that's bogus.
Bogus Jim Calafiore.
So the underscore between the names is important. Or following me on Facebook. I'm doing a lot of posting with links that way. On Instagram, my homepage with my profile has an active link right there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You heard it here. And Jim will be a guest on the radio program first week of September. Tune in for that. You know where to find us, pintofcomics.com.
That's right. All right, we're here Sunday. If you can't tell it's Sunday, just look at my face. Look at the little bit of this. But, you know, Terrificon, we're here with the co-creators of Punk Taco. We got Makana. What's going on, buddy? Makana Wallenta and maybe 10% Adam Wallenta here working on it as well.
Yeah, he's the man.
We've had Adam on the radio show before. We've talked about Punk Taco quite a bit. If you have not heard of Punk Taco, Adam, what is the bumper sticker pitch for what's going on here?
Punk Taco is a lovable intergalactic space taco that rocks out across the universe, helping those in need. Along the way, him and his friends get into trouble, make some new friends, help save the universe. A typical day in the life of an intergalactic Punk Taco.
Yeah. We've met Adam a few years ago. We checked it out probably a year and a half ago or so. It's a fantastic book. It's super colorful. Give him some inside shots there, Adam.
Check out the book. It's the evil King Boogar right there. He's trying to take over the galaxy. So... got a lot of different aliens, a lot of action, a lot of adventure, comedy, and a lot of hugs. So there you go. Hugs are important. Hugs are very important.
Hugs are super important. We're in a time and a place in the world where we can't get that message out enough that hugs are super important.
Comics, it's always post-apocalyptic and they bring you down.
Yeah.
It makes you sad. We wanted to make people happy and smile, so give them something to feel good about.
Yeah, and you really, I wasn't joking. You really did co-create this with your son. Absolutely. Why don't you give everybody how that happened?
My son McCunn and I were just hanging out one day playing Legos, and I had this name rattling around in my head, Punk Taco, and I told him about it, and he started coming up with all kinds of ideas for the story, different characters. That never happened, he says, yeah.
Who was your favorite character, McConnell, that did not make it into the book? Do you have one? He's playing coy.
Who's coming in the second volume that you wanted in the first volume? Do you remember?
Werewolves.
But they're not just any werewolves. What kind of werewolves are they?
I forget.
They're meat werewolves.
Meat werewolves.
Meat werewolves.
So are these people that are like regular people by day, and then when the full moon hits, they turn to meat?
You're going to have to check out Volume 2 to find out.
That's a smart man right there. That's a smart man right there. So where can everybody besides coming to Terrificon, or now you're in the middle of a move, right? You're leaving Connecticut and moving. You're moving far away.
Family's moving to California at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Punk Taco Volume 2 is in the works. It's all the artwork is almost done. It's all penciled. It's being inked and colored at the same time. It'll be out later this year, early part of next year, depending on production. Punktaco.com. It's real easy. So just www.punktaco.com. You can check us out. That'll take you to all of our other social media. If you want just me personally, it's just my name, AdamWallenta.com, or @AdamWallenta if you're on Twitter. So check it out.
And I like to throw this out there every time. I know it's not your thing anymore, but where can people find you if they have Amazon Music or anything like that? What would they have to look under? And I'm not even going to tell them what they're going to find, but just what would they look under?
Just type in Illus, ILLUS. You could go to Bandcamp. You could go to what's the other app? iTunes, if that still exists. Does that still exist? They're closing down though, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So iTunes, Apple Music, whatever it is, ILLUS, Illus, like Illustrator. Check it out.
Yeah, you're going to be surprised, that's for sure, and it's really awesome. But Punk Taco is the important thing. Check it out, and Volume 2 is coming out, like you said, soon. And is this is Volume 2 like the end of the Punk Taco saga, or is this just something you want to keep doing for as long as you want?
About Volume 3 yesterday, so we have an idea. There's a cliffhanger kind of at the end in the epilogue for Volume 2, and we're going to do Volume 3 as well. So
now, do you guys have set up like playtime? We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, have dinner, and then do you have serious meetings at the table? We're talking right now it's an hour of Punk Taco time. I need all your attention. We're gonna discuss plotting. Is that how you work it out, or?
No, it's always fun.
All right.
We're always goofing off, always having fun and being silly. Except for when we're actually doing the work, like the drawing. Then, he's like, I don't want to do this. But it's like, we got to get it done. We have a deadline.
Yeah, really. He's going to get fired if you're in the big leagues at some point, in the future. You can't just say to Marvel or DC, I don't know. One of the funniest things, if you didn't hear the radio show with Adam, was he had worked at one point at Marvel, and you had said, I'd never forget this because it made me laugh. You said that you had your drawings from when you were a kid. You'd never thrown them out, right? You were talking about your toys from when you were a kid, and you said, I think it was we asked you what your first Marvel work was, and you were like, yeah, I don't even have that. I just thought that was really funny.
I was coloring at the time for Marvel, and I did a Namor book all over the weekend. It's 32 pages, and back then you had to color on paper. And they gave, you had these inks, dyes that you would color, and you'd have to code everything. So the codes were written on the paper. They would send that to the printer and the separator. But yeah, I never kept that stuff. It was just thrown away. Everybody just threw them away at the end. But now you could go on eBay, and the people who are smart that kept them, they could sell them.
I just thought it was funny because obviously it means he's a sentimental guy, keeps his stuff from when he's a kid. His first Marvel work, never kept it. I love that story. That made me laugh.
Yeah, now you just made me sad. Thanks, man.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Hey, be happy. Get down here. Buy Punk Taco. Check out Punk Taco Volume 2. It's truly awesome. We love it. We love you, Adam.
Love you too, man.
Always helping us out, man. Punk Taco. All right, back at Terrificon's Pint of Comics, John here. I am here with Keith Gleason. Keith, what's going on?
Not much, John. How's it going?
It's going very good, man.
You guys again.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, man. Last month, Lou, Chris Frodell, and myself ventured up to Leominster. Leominster? Leominster. All right, it's those Massachusetts town names, man. I get Worcester. Yeah. Right, but I don't say Leominster enough, and to me it looks like Leominster. We went up to Leominster where you had your awesome one-day show, Plastic City Comic Con, and we had a great time, dude. By the way, seriously, not just saying that because you're standing here. We don't go afterwards and go, oh, what a lame time.
An invite to you guys for years to come.
We will come
as we do it.
We have to figure out a way to ruin that. Like when Mighty Mascots 3 comes out, and we'll be like, that thing sucked. Then suddenly we're not invited to Plastic City Comic Con.
Or we're gonna get too big.
Or we'll get too big. We'll be like, oh yeah, no, Plastic City bullshit. we do. Terrificon is our low level show for the year.
We do San Diego.
We only do San Diego. So I brought up Mighty Mascots. As you see here, Mighty Mascots, created by Keith Gleason, published by Alterna Comics. If you know Alterna, we've talked about them before. Lou loves Alterna. I love Alterna too. Lou reads everything Alterna puts out. And Mighty Mascots, why don't you give everybody out there that doesn't know, and we've been pushing this hard so people should know, the idea behind Mighty Mascots.
Well, it's like a modern day Saturday morning cartoon, basically, in comic form. It's about a bunch of serial mascots that are brought to life by a 3D printing accident, and they decide to become a superhero team.
And it's issue 1 and 2 are out now. Yep. I've read both. I am thoroughly amused by both. You write it. You have. I'm not going to attempt to say the guy's name. Was it Ian Wallenta?
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah. You got it right.
You said again, and I'm going to get this wrong. It was in the Philippines or Indonesia?
Indonesia. Yeah.
Hey, I knew eventually I'd get all these things right if I pay enough attention. It's great cartoony kind of art. Yep. Alterna Comics. If you don't know, here's a pitch for them. Generally $1.50. They're all on newsprint. The ads are sustainable. You could make an ad. Do you have a business? You could send them in an idea for an ad and get an ad in there. We could put an ad for Pint of Comics in there if we want to. It's homegrown comics at its best.
Yes.
How did you land with Alterna when you came up with the idea for Mighty Mascots?
Well, I was gonna self-publish it no matter what, but when I was looking for publishers, they were a no-brainer because of all those things.
Right.
It's so much. When you show somebody the cover price, it's not even like a thought to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's like you time travel to like 1989.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I didn't want to say like 82 because that was like 75 cents or 60 cents. Yeah.
But and that's the thing, and that's why I love it. It's got the nostalgia effect. They publish unique properties, and yeah, it just was a good fit for me, so.
And you lucked out because you're ending with season 3 or issue 3.
Yep.
Then you're going to be doing the first. What are they calling it? Like a trade or?
Yeah. They're like positioning away from trades because like the market is just very saturated right now, and so what they're gonna do instead is they're gonna take like anything that's like a 3-issue mini or whatever, and then collect it into like an 80-page giant. And then just release it as like this gigantic newsprint like book for $5.
So if you want to put it in a bag and board, you're gonna need a Silver Age for that thing probably.
Yeah, you're right.
It ain't gonna fit in a modern. It's gonna break the binding on a modern.
You have to put a board in
no
there.
board,
Yeah.
straight up bag only. So we have that coming out.
And I couldn't believe that it was Mascots is the premiering title.
You are. Now if this whole thing fails, it might be your fault. No, I'm just kidding. No, I bought all 3 issues. I'll be buying one of those too. Now you told us. Now I don't want to make you have to say it here. 2 has been greenlit. You told us that you had an idea. Is that something you could share? Or you're not sharing that yet?
Yeah, can share that.
All right.
Say like evil video game mascots.
So picture the Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, who is basically Captain Crunch. You know, the idea of that. Boxer Bear, Brewster McPunch, who's the Kool-Aid guy. Picture them fighting against maybe like an evil Mario or a Donkey Kong type thing. Frogger might be in there.
Pac-Man.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you already have, now, you obviously don't want you saying this now, but do you already have ideas for characters you want to use and like the names you're going to use for them?
Yes. Well, with a lot of those video game characters, this is great, is a lot of them have original names that they threw out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like Mario was originally like Jumpman.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call him Jumpman. You know, things like that. Like Pac-Man was originally Puckman.
Was Pac-Man Puckman?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Rid of it because it sounds like the F word.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know? Do you know the original name for Donkey Kong?
Well, I know it was. I know it was based off of King Kong.
It was Monkey Kong.
Monkey Kong.
And they just it makes more sense that way. What the hell? What does the donkey have to do with anything? You know, you never thought about it. You're like, what does donkey have to do with it? It's a giant gorilla.
That's what I love about that stuff, though. It's so out there.
It is out there. So do you have? I know it's a while away. Do you have a targeted? I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday. A target for Plastic City next year? This year it was middle of July, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm trying to decide between the end of June or the end of July. I'm leaning more towards the end of July because our first year at the Wallace Civic Center, we did our best numbers attendance-wise. So I'm thinking that might be a good place to return to date-wise, you know?
And if you don't know, if you refer to our old video of like a month ago with Keith, end of July in Leominster is donut season. So the donuts are harvested most there. The freshest are picked there. It's fantastic.
Oh my God, did you say donuts?
Did you say donuts? Oh yeah, you got to get the size. It's called Oh My God. You just tell them it's $1.75. I apologize for any Boston accents, by the way, but this girl had a really severe one. I had I don't know if I got a chance to tell you this. I told it on the podcast. I had an awesome kind of being a Central Connecticut guy. I had an awesome Boston moment at your show when we were setting up in the morning.
Yeah.
There was a lady, probably maybe in her 30s, walking by, and she was wearing a New Kids on the Block T-shirt.
Okay.
And as she walked by, she's carrying like coffees or something, and I'm just being like jerky, and I go, "Hey." She looks at me and go, "Who's your favorite New Kid?" And she never stops stride. She just keeps walking. She goes, "Donnie." And it was awesome. I felt like I was like in a sketch of some sort.
Ben Affleck and Mallrats.
Yeah. I felt like I was in the town.
That's great.
Yeah. So when do we get issue 3 of Mighty Mascots?
It's at the printers now. It should be out next month sometime.
All right. So we're looking at September.
If anyone comes to Granite State Comic Con, I should have it by then.
All right. Granite State Comic Con up in what was that? It was in Manchester?
Yeah, and then I'm all over the place.
Did you say Vermont? You said Vermont. You usually make fun of me for stuff like that. All right. Yeah.
And then I'm all over the place in October. I'm at Bing. I'm at New York. I'm at doing Mice for the first time.
And you taught us the last time Mice is...
stands for Massachusetts Independent Comic Expo.
Right. We were joking around how it was like very hoity-toity kind of, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that'd be fun, and that one's just all comics. That's all they sell there, which is great,
All right. Well, we're going to be at Bing, so maybe we could ask you now when we're at shows like that. We love to do like trivia, stuff like that. Maybe you could sit in and do a round of trivia with us.
Oh, of course.
All right.
Definitely. Hit me up.
We just won't have you play against Mitch Halleck because that's that's dangerous with a capital D. He doesn't like to lose. All right, so check Keith out. Keith, give out any like quick information, Twitter, any of that stuff.
My Twitter handle is at Reckless Gleason, and you can find everything from my website, recklesssidekick.com.
Ooh, is that a Horatio Honeyflakes card?
Yeah.
Man, you don't mess around, dude.
It's got the nutritional facts on the back.
That's awesome. Check out Mighty Mascots. Check Keith out. Go to Plastic City Comic Con next year. Stop playing around. Spend your summer having fun with some comic book stuff. Pine Comics. We'll see you later. All right, we are here again. Terrificon 2019. We're here with Robber Barons Inc. If I have to explain to you who that is again, boy oh boy, you're not listening to the show, but we will once again do it. We got Sal here. Sal's our good friend. Sal, what's going on?
Not much, just hanging out here at Terrificon, having a good time.
Hanging out at Terrificon, having a good time, and you are in prime real estate, dude. You were on like salesperson corner. How every time
#1 USA.
Mitch, thank you so much for the prime real estate. I noticed, we always show off some of their awesome stuff. The Greedo, he started it, right?
Been popular.
Popular. Han Solo's like wanted card. Obviously, the dude. We got the dude here. And but we got a brand new one here. I Want to Be Leaves. That is a mashup. What's that a mashup of exactly?
Wait, that's a mash? No, yeah, no. Groot, Bigfoot, UFO. I Want to Believe. It's
X-Files, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't know if the X-Files originated that poster. Did they?
I don't know. Is that I Want to Believe poster originated by the X-Files? It's a good question for people out there in Facebook Live.
Trivia.
I don't know. That is trivia. Did that poster exist prior, or did that poster?
I think it did.
You think it did?
I believe it did.
Okay. And tomorrow, Sunday, at some point tomorrow, I talked to you about this earlier, and I'm springing this on you. I'm going to work the booth with you tomorrow for a little while, and I'm going to sell a minimum of 3 T-shirts. Yeah, 3. I'm going to sell 3 T-shirts here. Yeah, why not? I got the So Wizard guys over here. You guys want to buy a couple T-shirts? It'll help me out for tomorrow. I've got to sell 3. I will give you a good underhanded deal. Don't tell Sal.
Now that you've said it, you got to do it, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm going to sell 3 T-shirts for you between today and tomorrow. We're going to do that. If you folks would like to buy a T-shirt, talk to me about deals. This guy is going to rip you off blind. No, I'm kidding. These are awesome shirts. 10% Johnny in the house today. Game of Thrones, we're hiring. Is that a tough sell? Now, do you get a lot of people coming by and going, I would have bought that before season 7?
No, today actually only one person has told me how they just thought season 8 was garbage, which I'm surprised that's it. But a lot of people come by and laugh and point and laugh because I think it still has appreciation regardless of that season.
6 seasons of goodness, right? And I got to admit, I'm going to say it on camera. I've said it before. Maybe I'm not fully invested. Like, guy, you've watched the show like 3 times, right? You said.
Oh yeah, at least probably.
I've only seen it once all the way through. I wasn't that offended by the final 2 seasons because I do get it was rushed. But, like, I don't know, maybe I wasn't that invested. As a super fan, as a nerd, were you hurt by the end of Game of Thrones? Did you not come that week in May? Did you stay inside indoors? Did you refuse to take calls? Did you stop making T-shirts? Did you eat less? Did you grow a beard? What happened to you after the last episode of Game of Thrones?
No, I was fine. I definitely would think that season 7 started, had good moments, but definitely decline. Right. And season 8, a little slow, kind of good, and then just like crashed and burned, pun intended. But I didn't really worry too much about it.
All right. Did you get nervous at the end of season 8 in that scene where, this is spoilers for all you that haven't seen it, in the scene where they're kind of going to pick the new king, did you start to think it was going to be an allegory for voting and they were going to try to make us like, they're going to try to teach us about voting in Game of Thrones? Because I did. I was like, oh no, they're making this thing about voting.
I think everyone did, and I was like, oh God, and I think they only did that to like trick people, so then when they revealed, spoiler alert, it was Bran, that people wouldn't just be like, that's garbage and makes no sense. But so you were like, oh, well, it could be worse, but it still wasn't great.
Okay. All right. And then tomorrow what we'll also do, maybe if Lou has the cards with him, maybe we'll do another trivia game and get Sal involved. And maybe we can hook it up where customers, if they beat you in trivia, can take like 25 shirts or so. Is that no? Oh, I didn't know if you had them with you. I'm sorry. I was just kidding, by the way. There will be no free 25 shirts to be won here. But what you can do, if you're not here at Terrificon or coming down, is you can go to www.robberbaronsinc with a K, INK.com, and you can check out their full line of awesome T-shirts, bandanas. So if you want to ride a motorbike or rob a bank, or no, don't rob a bank, or anything, you can get a bandana that looks like a gas mask or Lando. Oh, perfect. We got Billy D. Williams here. Lando Calrissian's skiff guard outfit, and of course we got tons of buttons here. They have some awesome stuff. Right here, citrus celebration, one of my favorites. I'm actually wearing one today. Citrus celebration, if you understand that. Figure it out, internet. But Sal, anything new coming out? Any new shirts besides the I Want to Be Leaves?
You never know. Sometimes things come out fast, sometimes not. Yeah, it depends on the inspiration comes and it comes out. Like I said, that happened really quick. We've had a couple other new ones here. That one's new, and a couple. So you never know. You got to come and check it out to find out.
You sounded like a true artiste when you said that. The inspiration comes. Sometimes I'm in a dark place, and I just start to make T-shirts like without thinking about it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It happens. Art is like therapy sometimes. You just have to get it out there, or you come up with an idea and it doesn't work, and then you move on to the next.
Give me an idea that you had that you thought was brilliant. You gave it to the other three guys, and they all shot you down. Like, it didn't make it to the T-shirt stage. I know we've talked about in the past, you've had a couple shirts that turn out to be wieners. That's okay. They can't all be zingers. But have you had an idea that you were like, this is going to be the shirt that, like we start franchising? We'll have a Robber Barons Inc. on every corner in America. And then the other guys were like, are you insane?
Well, you clearly don't know us that well, because I probably would do it anyways. They would probably be too scared to be like, no. I mean, there's definitely a couple of these shirts. This was probably one of them. I just didn't tell anyone and kind of did it, and then was like, hey, check this out. And at that point, they can't be like, that's terrible. Oh, they can be, but I think they were like, well, he's already committed. So.
Well, plus the printing operation's all in your house, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a control freak, so that helps. But they're pretty, supportive in that regard. I'm probably the tougher sell of all the people.
All right, so he's not here now, so we can talk about him. Funk. What was Funk's all-time worst idea? What was the worst Funk idea you've ever had?
Oh, God. That's a tough one. The best way I could put it, though, is he has lots of shirts that would belong in a Spencer's Gifts. I don't know if those are still around.
Okay, they are. Okay. They are, yeah.
So Spencer's Gifts, get in touch. Greg Holcomb. He's got tons of great, ideas that...
Are you trying not to say titties and stuff like that?
No, it's not even that. Like bathroom humor, and there's several, and he still has some going. I don't even want to name some in case they actually happen.
Everybody poops on a T-shirt.
Oh, we probably had something about a compost with an arrow. A compost starts here or something.
All right, so that's Robber Barons Inc. INK.com. Check them out. All very cool stuff. All very affordable, and we love these guys. So thank you so much, Sal.
Thank you.
All right, Terrificon 2019. Lloyd the Manster and Johnny Ganache here. And we are with Tim Jones. Tim Jones, this is take 2 of our interview with Tim Jones. About a month ago, we met Tim up at Plastic City Comic Con in Fitchburg/Leominster, Mass., the donut capital.
Missed that one.
Yeah, you were on family vacation. You were having a very good time. We had a great time, though. We talked to Tim, but we had to scrap that video because he was brutal. He was swearing at us. He actually, at one point, he threw something at the camera, and we found out that he was just off of his meds or something. And he said, I won't be a psychotic today at Terrificon. But no, we had some technical. Angry Tim. No, Tim, you are the creator of Sour Grapes. Give everybody out there exactly what Sour Grapes is and where they can find it.
All right, Sour Grapes is a comic strip. It's self-syndicated, and you can find it in 28 newspapers throughout Rhode Island, Mass, and California. And it's going great. Sour Grapes is about Aesop, miserable flying dog, and it's all about just Aesop putting up with his odd friends and what happens in life, basically my life, that's not so great. So he's kind of resigned to the fact that he has to put up with the sour grapes in life kind of thing. So
Aesop is it's you.
It's basically you. Okay. Yeah, I admit it. Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting. I have not read. I picked up a copy from you there. I have not read it yet, but you're doing something that. You're in newspapers, which in itself is something you don't hear about much anymore. But you're actually doing something. You're growing. Like you said, you just recently jumped up to 28 syndications, and you moved all the way out to California. Yeah. So, do you have a goal? Are you looking? Is there a number you're looking at? I want to be in this many papers by this point, or are you just basically looking to get in as many as you can?
Well, I'm trying to get into. I don't want to jinx it, but there's another group of papers. That I'm waiting on. They said they like it, and so I'm hoping for that, hopefully soon. But yeah, I mean, I try and just fish around and see, what papers are interested in it, and I send them some samples, and, I've been lucky, over the past, this started in 2013, so it just climbed. My first, was it 2015, I was in 6 papers, and the following year I was in 15. So it starts a locomotive going, and then they all say, oh, well, he looks like he's successful, and so we'll put him in, so it helps. So, yeah, up to 28, and I hope to keep it going and getting ready to send out to the syndicates, and hopefully that'll get me national. That's my biggest goal right there, just to go national with a big syndicate, and all I have to do is draw, because right now I do A to Z. And it's
And you do everything. You write and draw this.
I write and draw. I promote it. I do the business. I do everything, soup to nuts for it. So.
Did you make the stuffed animals?
No, I had someone up in Massachusetts make those for me. So I've got those. Just little mementos that people bring sour grapes around and spread the word kind of thing. But I really like doing it, especially the books and that. The compilations, and so you can see that the past year's collection and stuff like that. So
now, Lloyd, you were of the age where sitting down and opening up a newspaper. I am too, so I'm not saying that you're. Did you have some favorites? Let's see if some of your favorites might have been some of the ones that inspired Tim.
Let's see, Funky Winkerbean, Hagar the Horrible. Yep. Not Family Circus.
Okay, can we talk about Family Circus real quick? Sure. I don't want to get you knocked out of a syndicate, because that's still going, right? That's still going? Yeah. Do you get Family Circus? I get it. You don't want it. No, you don't have to say anything, Tim. I'll say it for you. Yep. Family Circus. It doesn't make sense. It's not funny. I just don't understand how it's been running that long. But that's just me. These opinions are not of Sour Grapes or Tim. Pint of Comics, you got a problem? Come at me. Bill Keane. Is it Bill Keane? Bill Keane?
Yeah.
Bill Keane? Is it Bill Keane?
I think
okay. Come at me, estate of Bill Keane.
His son's drawing it, which is happening a lot lately. A lot of these guys that are either dead or can't draw because their hands are falling off, they have their kids drawing it now.
So it's like a legacy thing.
Hagar the Horrible is Chris Brown now, the guy's son, Dick Brown, I think it is. So, yeah, a lot of that's going around.
Well, I was a big fan of Heathcliff. I liked Heathcliff. I loved The Far Side. Nobody
it was the best. Yeah.
Nobody didn't love The Far Side.
Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah. So, Tim, where can everybody find you?
I'm plugging myself. Would you mind taking a picture of this thing? So,
where can everybody find Sour Grapes if they want to start picking up some of the collections, or besides just the newspaper presence?
So, you can see Sour Grapes Comic. Thank you. SourGrapesComic.com. And all my, this is one of my latest books, Aesop's Foibles. SourGrapesComic.com. And my social media links are there. And also, my merchandise is on there. So what you do is you just email me if you want one. And, I'll get back to you and we work out the details. I have a PayPal and stuff like that. So, yeah, so they can do all that.
So easily accessible. If you don't have a newspaper subscription, you can still check this stuff out and collect it for them. Check it out on the website. Tim, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for coming.
It's always fun talking to you. And we will be seeing more of Aesop, him, in the news strips very soon.
I'm trying to fly. It's not working.
This is no, you can get into it. It's cool. Oh, I'm on. All right. Hey, Sir John with you. Pint of Comics with the man, the mystery, the absolute almost legend.
I'm going with legend. Fuck you.
Okay. Excellent. The legend himself, Howard Chaykin. How you doing?
How are you? Nice to see you.
No, I went to your panel last night. It was great.
I changed lives, didn't I? It was a transformative experience, like Saul on the road to Damascus.
I would say you probably pissed off a good 20% of the room.
Is that true, you think?
You don't think so?
No, I had no idea. Did I really do that? I had no idea.
I don't know. You didn't piss me off. I loved everything you said.
I'm not sure. I think you're projecting.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think I said anything was pissing anybody off, did I? Oh, maybe I did.
Well, it's give give it to our viewers, listeners, whatever, your absolute opinion of the guys with the lasers coming out of their eyes.
Please. I mean, it's time that grown men and women stop reading the same stuff they read when they were 13 just because some fool has been able to convince them that a slather of gravitas makes it palatable for adults. It's like grown men and women reading Mockingjay. Get the hell over this shit.
Love it. Love it. I absolutely agree with them. I still read some of this stuff.
That's because you're a sucker, but that's okay.
And I will say that, too. Some of this stuff does sucker you into it. I will agree.
Well, okay. If you're that easily suckered, okay. All right.
Not as much as other people.
Okay.
But
it's a qualified suckishness.
For me, yeah, I'm weaning myself off slowly. So, all right, let's put it this way.
You're not that young. You know, that weaning process got to be picked up a little bit here. But please go on.
Oh God, now I feel old. No, I did. But Hey Kids Comics, probably one of the most important books I have read myself in the last 20 years or so.
Say.
I absolutely agree. I believe it to the nth degree. It's something I've been pushing on people. Everyone should read this that loves comics. You have it here in collected format.
I do. The Hey Kids Comics is a fictional history of the comic book business. It's basically, in its most productive, it's Mad Men in the comic book business. And it tells stories that I've been listening to since I was a kid, from all the old men of the business. It's basically about the people who built the Silver Age, who were responsible for the business in which we live and exist. I'm working on the second arc right now, which is about my generation, which is going to get me into serious trouble. And but it's subjective, so fuck them. And it's fiction, right? Sure.
Allegorical fiction?
Well, it's more, I mean, there's anecdote in there that I know for a fact is not true, but it is so much a part of the fabric of the narrative that it had to be included. So there it is.
And that makes sense. And if you read it, you'll understand a lot of the things that may be true or should be true. You can try and pin a name to it, but don't. It's not worth it. It's just better to read it for what it is, I think, anyway.
There's an essay in the trade that directly addresses the idea of the guessing game and why it's not worth it. There are only 2 avatars that are directly avataric in the book. The rest are conflations and amalgams. But it's based on chat, anecdote, conversation, and recorded memory. And I stand by it.
I'm looking forward to it.
This work.
I absolutely agree. This microphone's killing me. But I absolutely agree. I'm looking forward to the next series and the third series.
Yes, the third will be about the 90s to now.
Which I was a retailer during that time.
We'll take your ass up the wall. Well, thanks again, man.
I'm good for it.
Appreciate it.
Hey,
thanks so much.
Thank you
for your
again.
attention, and I never really mistake it for affection. Thanks.
No problem. I got it.
Have a great day, guys.
All right, Pint of Comics, we're here at Terrificon again, 2019, and we are hanging out at the Aftershock Comics booth, aftershockcomics.com. Awesome company, and we are standing here with Mark. And Mark, what exactly do you do at Aftershock Comics?
I am the Senior Retail Sales Development Manager. I'm in sales and marketing for the company. I talk to stores all around the country about our books, how we can help them sell our books and connect with fans and build the fan base.
Now, Aftershock is a fairly new...
just over 4 years. We're coming up on 5 years next year. So, yeah.
Okay. And you guys, you don't mess around when it comes to talent, though. I'm going to give a couple, and then you're going to round them out. You've got guys like Garth Ennis, Cullen Bunn, Sam Keith. Who else do you have? So people don't think, oh, this is just some startup with no name recognition. What else do you have going out there?
Marguerite Bennett works with us. Donnie Cates, who's here at the show. Frank Thierry, Adam Glass, Zach Kaplan. So all of our stuff is creator-owned. It's not a shared universe. Each title is standalone, and the creators, go in their stuff with us, and we publish the books. We're looking into movie and TV for some of the different projects, but comics are our first love. So.
And are you a huge comic fan, or?
Oh God, yeah.
So this isn't just a job for you. This is like a dream job.
I co-own 2 stores as well, and I've been doing this for about 22 years. So nice. Yeah, but I really love Aftershock, and I love the people I work with. They gave me the opportunity to come on board, and I jumped at it. So.
That's awesome. So you got a guy, retailer, comic fan, working for a company that's 4 years old and rising. Let's go over a couple of the titles you have. I'm gonna bring up the title. You kind of give me an idea what it's about. Let's start off with I love this title right off the bat. Patience, Conviction, Revenge.
That is literally all you need to know. It's a good old-fashioned revenge story.
So just a revenge story, a good.
Yeah, there are a few twists and turns, but I don't want to tell you. But that's what it is. So
Think Death Wish in a way, revenge.
You gotta, when it comes to revenge, you have to think the long game, and that's what it is.
Okay, and another thing with your books before we get on to the next title, are these generally written as shorter arcs? Are they as compared to considered to like ongoing? You know, is this book going to go to 3,000 or is it supposed to go to 8? You know what I mean?
Most of these are miniseries, and so you'll get one or maybe 1 or 2 volumes. We have a few ongoings: Baby Teeth, Dark Arc, Animosity. But for the most part, like especially this side, like a lot of these are just miniseries. So.
Okay, how about this? I like this title a lot. Brilliant Trash.
What would you do to have superpowers? Would you accept the fact that you're going to die earlier than you normally would if it gave you superpowers? This drug can help you.
Okay, all right, and let's go over to I just love the covers particularly. Pestilence.
Zombie apocalypse in the Middle Ages, in the Crusades. And that's Frank Thierry, who's here at the show. He's brilliant.
Yeah, Frank Terry's done some Punisher stuff. Wolverine, yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll go through one more to figure out what else we have going here, and we're going to go over close to Luke. We make it easy for him. I like the title right off the bat, American Monster.
Brian Azzarello, the writer's here. It's a crime noir, and again, there's a bit of a twist, but the monster refers more to the people and the things that they do to get what they want.
All right, so you guys are in comic stores nationwide, in both of your stores, I hope.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that'd be funny. He's like, I don't carry these books. I refuse.
If you come to a store that doesn't have them, they can totally order them. All you have to do is ask.
And you can check them out right here at AftershockComics.com. Mark, thank you so much, man.
ComicShopLocator.com. If you go there, type in your zip code, it'll give you a list of all the stores in your area.
So check them out, Aftershock Comics. We have all, at some form or another, read some of these books, and they are really good. So, Pine of Comics, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm good at that. Hold on, 1930 style. Go. All right, Terrificon, Pine of Comics here, John and John at the Ahoy Comics booth. A year ago, Ahoy was not even, it was in gestation. We had been talking about it for quite a while now, and we're here with Darren Bennett. Darren is, what do you do at Ahoy, Darren?
I do a couple things. I'm a production coordinator, so I'll basically make sure those books go out on time for you guys, and then I'm also an assistant editor of sorts. I help edit the books along with Tom Pyre and Stuart Moore.
Tom Pyre and Stuart Moore, who we've had on the radio show a couple times at this point. And if you've been paying attention to Pine of Comics...
Stuart F-bomb Moore.
Yeah, Stuart did drop an F-bomb on the radio show. We still a little weary of ever having him on again. But we've talked a lot about their books over the course of the last year. Captain Ginger, written by Stuart Moore, Intergalactic Space-Faring Cats. Sir, this is an excellent book if you're thinking about buying a book today. The Wrong Earth... Right? Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man, two very disparate heroes, the same person, though, from two different universes, right? And you know what? You're going to talk about High Heaven because that's the one I've never read. John has read.
John's read. Well, this is about our malcontent protagonist here. He's probably the most miserable person on the planet Earth, and unfortunately he dies. I won't tell you how he died because that's pretty spectacular. And he ends up in heaven, but heaven isn't what it's all cracked up to be. He's sitting there trying to figure out a way to get out of this. Basically, it's a mediocre version of heaven, and it's just a barrel of laughs. I can't say enough about Tom's writing. He's also the writer of The Wrong Earth, and he has this satire on High Heaven that's just out of this world. A lot of people have looked at it as maybe it's more of our religious take as Second Coming, but it's really more about the satire that's coming in here, and just a cerebral comedy as our hero goes into heaven and wants to get out.
People wanting to get out of mediocre heaven. Yeah. You read it, John.
It's the most interesting take on St. Peter I've ever seen.
St. Peter, yeah. We have the angels, archangels, and everybody in here. It's pretty hilarious fun. Like I said, you're going to want to pick that up if you're interested in satire at all. That's really the way to go.
All right. Satire. and when Ahoy came out, everybody's just thinking, okay, cool name for a comic company, but we found out that it's an acronym for something. And do you know it? I'm not saying you know it, but are you worried that you're going to say the wrong thing, or?
I'm worried that I'm going to say the wrong thing.
Okay, so do you want me to throw you out there?
think I can. Yeah, I've got it. It's Ahoy was started by our founding members. They used to throw a party, the Asshole of the Year party, and that's what Ahoy Comics is the acronym for.
I'm only finding this out today. I thought it was like adventure, humor. No. Oh, that was a wrong guess.
That was just that was just our bullet points of what we wanted to introduce to the world. You know, we had the humor and all those outstanding comics and things like that. But yeah, the actual acronym stands for Asshole of the Year.
Well, this is Pint of Comics. We are here with not the not the Asshole of the Year, Deron. Deron, can I ask you, the way you guys put books out is kind of like a little mini series, and then you move on and then come back to something. Can you tell us anything about what's coming up next in the next round? I mean, we have Second Coming, which is a pretty, what would you say, almost infamous book right now because it was dropped and you guys picked it up. But what is the next wave? Dropped by DC.
The next wave of comics is coming this fall. We have the follow-ups to our series here. We have Dragonfly Man and Dragonfly Man, the follow-up to Wrong Earth. We're also doing the second season, so to speak, of Captain Ginger, and we have a couple of others in the works right now. I'm not sure if they've been announced, so I have to double check. But yeah, stay tuned. This fall we're dropping our third wave of comics, and if you're loving our books so far, please stay tuned to what we have coming up in Wave 3.
And we do love these books, John.
Absolutely love them.
We've turned a lot of people on to. Two favorites right here, Lou.
Everybody at the Pint reads at least one of these, and some of us read them all. So
yeah, you got a fantastic thing going on, Deron. Thanks for talking to us, man. Thank you for enlightening my eyes about what Ahoy stood for. Because I honestly, somewhere in there, I thought that it had been Asshole of the Year is even better than what I thought. So that is awesome, Deron. Good luck here. Good luck in the future, and check these books out and buy them. Go to your local comic store and ask for Ahoy right now.